Have you ever noticed your energy slipping away, your muscles feeling weaker, or that stubborn belly fat creeping in no matter what you do? Many of us chalk these changes up to simply getting old. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's a surprising reason behind these struggles? Something science is only now beginning to understand. For years, these common challenges have been brushed off as inevitable, yet they quietly chip away at our independence and joy. In this video, I'm going to share with you an incredible natural discovery, a simple leaf backed by real science, that's helping seniors across America reclaim their strength, balance blood sugar, and even reduce belly fat. Stick around, because toward the end, I'll reveal how you can safely bring this miracle into your daily routine, step by step. Let's explore this together. Your best years are still ahead. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. For so many Americans over the age of 65, the quiet struggles of daily health often feel like an accepted part of life, a sort of background music that plays as we go about our routines. Maybe you've found yourself walking a little slower than you used to. Perhaps your hands shake just a bit when you button up your shirt in the morning, or your energy seems to fade long before the day is done. You might have even stood in front of the bathroom mirror, poking at that stubborn belly fat that just won't budge no matter how careful you are with your meals or how many walks you take around the block. It's a scene repeated in homes across America. A little sigh as you take your evening medication, maybe another pill added to the lineup after your last checkup. You tell yourself, that's just aging. Your friends talk about similar issues, rising blood sugar, doctors warning about bad cholesterol, and the mystery of why that belt keeps getting tighter every year. At church socials or family gatherings, there's always someone sharing tips about cutting carbs or trying a new statin, but deep down, there's a quiet anxiety. Will things get worse? Is this just what it means to grow old? Let's pause here for a moment. What if I told you that these struggles, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, and persistent belly fat, aren't just an unavoidable part of getting older? What if, instead of simply accepting these problems, you could better understand why they happen and find practical, gentle ways to fight back? We've all been told, that's just how things go after a certain age. But maybe there's more to the story. Maybe aging isn't the only reason these issues appear, and maybe, just maybe, there's hope for change. Here's something many people don't realize. The body is wonderfully adaptive, but it also accumulates little burdens over time. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down. Muscles become less sensitive to insulin, the hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. The pancreas, which produces insulin, might not work as efficiently as it once did. These changes make it much easier for blood sugar levels to rise, and before you know it, your doctor is mentioning the word diabetes during your checkup. It's not a personal failure, it's biology working silently in the background. And cholesterol. For decades, doctors have talked about good HDL and bad LDL cholesterol, warning us to keep the bad kind in check. But what isn't often discussed is that after 65, the liver's ability to process fat slows down, while the foods we eat, combined with genetics and, yes, the natural effects of aging, can push cholesterol numbers in the wrong direction. Medications like statins can help, but they're not always a magic fix. For some, side effects like muscle pain or stomach upset make it tough to stick with. For others, cholesterol numbers just seem to climb no matter what. Now, let's talk about belly fat, the kind that forms a stubborn ring around the middle and just won't leave. It isn't just about how we look in the mirror. Medical science now understands that this visceral fat isn't harmless padding. It acts almost like a separate organ, producing hormones and chemicals that make blood sugar harder to control and worsen inflammation throughout the body. Belly fat is especially dangerous for the heart, raising the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even certain cancers. It can squeeze the liver and kidneys, making their jobs harder and creating a domino effect that leads to more medications, more doctor visits, and sometimes even hospital stays. You might be wondering, isn't this just what happens as we get older? Can anyone escape it? It's a reasonable question, and for decades, the answer seemed to be, not really. But modern science is challenging those old assumptions. Researchers have discovered that while aging does increase the risk for type 2 diabetes, bad cholesterol, and belly fat, these problems aren't simply the price we pay for more candles on the birthday cake. Our daily choices, what we eat, how we move, and even the small habits we form, play a much bigger role than anyone once thought. Still, it's no secret that managing these health challenges can feel overwhelming. Maybe you've done everything right. You follow your doctor's advice, you take your medications faithfully, and you've given up many of your favorite foods. But the numbers on your lab report just don't seem to budge, or your doctor wants to increase your dosage yet again. You might feel frustrated, even discouraged, as if you're running up a hill that only gets steeper with time. It's perfectly natural to feel that way. But here's where it gets truly important. Ignoring these issues, or brushing them off as just aging, can be dangerous. Uncontrolled blood sugar quietly damages the tiny blood vessels in your eyes, kidneys, and nerves, sometimes before you even notice a problem. High cholesterol builds up in your arteries, slowly narrowing them until one day, seemingly out of nowhere, a heart attack or stroke occurs. And belly fat, that silent troublemaker, increases inflammation and can make almost every other health problem worse. It's not just about how you look or how your clothes fit. It's about protecting your independence, your mobility, and your time with family and friends. So, what can you do about it? Many doctors will say the answer is more medication. And sometimes, that's true. But medication is just one tool in the toolbox. What if there was another way? A gentler, more natural approach that could help support your body without adding to your list of prescriptions. Imagine a solution that doesn't just mask the problem, but helps address it at the root. That's where new research into the power of natural plants, specifically certain leaves used for generations around the world, has become so exciting. Let's get practical for a moment. No one wants to overhaul their entire life at once or commit to a complicated plan that's hard to follow. The good news is that small, steady changes can make a profound difference. The body is remarkably resilient, even after 65. Studies show that even gentle increases in daily movement, slight improvements in diet, and the right supplements can help restore balance to blood sugar, reduce cholesterol, and shrink dangerous belly fat. You don't have to become a marathon runner or give up every food you love. It's about adding the right things, not just taking things away. If you're skeptical, you're not alone. Take the story of Mr. Harold, a retired high school teacher from Ohio. Harold had always been a strong, independent man, loved grilling burgers in the summer, coaching his grandson's little league team, and spending weekends fixing up old cars. In his early 70s, he started to notice some changes. He'd get winded walking up the stairs, his pants felt tighter, and his doctor began talking to him about prediabetes and rising cholesterol. "I figured it was just old age catching up," Harold recalls. "My dad had heart problems. I assumed it was just my turn." But one day, after a checkup, his doctor suggested adding another medication to his daily routine. Harold hesitated. "I was already taking 3 pills in the morning and 2 at night. My wife was worried about all the side effects. I just wanted to feel like myself again." Around this time, Harold's daughter mentioned a simple natural remedy she'd read about, a certain type of leaf, used as tea in many cultures, that some studies suggested could help regulate blood sugar and cholesterol. Skeptical but curious, Harold decided to give it a try. He started drinking the tea a few times a week, and didn't change much else except for walking a bit more in the evenings. After a few months, his lab numbers began to improve, not dramatically at first, but steadily. His energy returned, he felt less foggy after meals, and he even lost a few stubborn pounds around his waist. Most importantly, he felt hope again. I realized I wasn't powerless, Harold says. Getting older didn't mean giving up. Now, Harold's story isn't a miracle cure, and neither is any one leaf, supplement, or strategy. But it's proof that you have more options than you might think. Small steps can add up. You don't have to accept declining health as your only path forward. It's worth repeating, if your doctor recommends medication, always listen. Medications save lives and are sometimes necessary. But they work even better when paired with healthy habits and natural supports that work with your body, not against it. And it's never too late to start. Science tells us that even after the age of 65, your body can adapt, repair, and grow stronger with the right help. So, if you're watching this and feeling worried about your numbers, whether it's your blood sugar, cholesterol, or that expanding waistline, please know you're not alone. Millions of Americans are in the same boat, quietly struggling with the same fears and frustrations. But you're not powerless. With the right knowledge, gentle changes, and a little patience, you can take back control of your health and enjoy more of the good moments life has to offer. Imagine waking up with more energy, looking forward to playing with your grandkids, or taking a stroll without getting winded. Imagine feeling proud of the progress you've made, not because you did something dramatic, but because you took small, meaningful steps day after day. That future is possible, and it starts with understanding that just getting older doesn't have to mean getting sicker. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by all the advice out there, or discouraged because your efforts didn't seem to pay off, take heart. The path to better health isn't always easy, but it is possible, and you have more choices than you realize. Remember, every day is a new chance to make a change, no matter your age. You deserve to feel strong, hopeful, and in charge of your journey. Aging is a fact of life, but declining health doesn't have to be. Let's walk this path together, learning from science, tradition, and each other. Your story isn't over yet. In many ways, it's just beginning. For as long as anyone can remember, we've looked to nature for remedies and small miracles. Sometimes it's the homegrown mint in a grandmother's tea, or the honey our parents swore would soothe a sore throat. But every so often, a plant emerges from centuries of quiet use to stand in the scientific spotlight, revealing gifts that seem almost too good to be true. Today, I want to share the story of such a plant, a simple leaf with a legacy as rich as its benefits. Let me introduce you to Gymnema sylvestre, sometimes called the sugar destroyer, in its native India. For hundreds of years, this humble leaf has been cherished in Ayurvedic medicine, a system of healing older than the United States itself. In tiny villages across India, healers would pluck Gymnema leaves and brew them as tea, offering relief to those suffering from thirst, fatigue, and the constant hunger that signals unbalanced blood sugar. Far from the bright lights of modern clinics, families relied on this leaf's subtle power, passing its story down through generations. But Gymnema sylvestre isn't the only miracle leaf recognized across the world. In Chinese medicine, bitter melon leaf, another contender for our spotlight, has long been used to tame blood sugar swings and invigorate the body. And neem leaf, a staple in both India and Africa, has been trusted for everything from skin health to metabolic balance. Each of these leaves carries centuries of respect, used quietly and faithfully long before the era of pharmaceuticals. So why, in an age of advanced medicine, are scientists suddenly paying attention to these leaves? What makes them special, and how might they help you? Let's talk about Gymnema sylvestre, because recent research has truly set it apart. If you pluck a fresh leaf and chew it, you'll notice something remarkable. For several hours afterward, sweet foods taste bland or even bitter. That's because Gymnema temporarily blocks your tongue's sugar receptors, a trick that gave it its nickname, the sugar destroyer. But it's real magic that happens inside the body, at a microscopic level. Researchers have discovered that Gymnema's compounds work in several fascinating ways. First, They help your pancreas make more insulin, the hormone your body uses to escort sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells, where it can be used for energy. For those with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, this is like giving your body a helping hand, making it easier to control blood sugar levels without so many peaks and crashes. But that's not all. Gymnema also seems to reduce the absorption of sugar from food as it passes through the gut. Think of it as a natural gatekeeper. Less sugar makes its way into your bloodstream after a meal, which means fewer dangerous spikes and less strain on your organs. For seniors who have spent years fighting an uphill battle with blood sugar, enduring the fatigue, brain fog, and endless warnings from doctors, this gentle leaf offers hope. If you've ever wrestled with bad cholesterol, the notorious LDL your doctor warns you about, Gymnema has more good news. Emerging evidence shows that the leaf's natural compounds can help lower LDL cholesterol, the type that clogs arteries and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. At the same time, Gymnema may raise your good HDL cholesterol, which helps sweep away the bad stuff and protect your heart. In this sense, the leaf does double duty, guarding your blood vessels while helping you maintain better overall metabolic health. Now, let's touch on a problem that feels all too familiar for many of us: stubborn belly fat. Modern science now confirms what healers suspected all along. Gymnema can gently boost metabolism, making it easier for your body to burn stored fat. Its anti-inflammatory effects can help reduce the chronic swelling and discomfort that often come with extra weight around the middle. In practical terms, adding this leaf to your routine might make it easier to lose inches, move more freely, and regain the confidence that comes with feeling lighter and more energetic. But is this just another folk remedy, or does science truly back it up? Let's look at the research. A study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology examined people with type 2 diabetes who took Gymnema sylvestre extract daily for several months. The results were striking. Participants saw significant reductions in their fasting blood sugar and average long-term glucose levels, measured as HbA1c. Even more impressive, some individuals were able to reduce their medication dosages with their doctor's supervision, because the leaf works so well. These aren't just numbers on a chart. They translate into fewer daily symptoms, less risk for complications, and a better quality of life. Another clinical study, this time from the Diabetes, Obesity and Metabolism Journal, focused on Gymnema's effect on cholesterol. The research showed that people taking Gymnema extract had lower LDL, bad cholesterol, and triglyceride levels, while their HDL, good cholesterol, increased. That's a triple win for anyone fighting cardiovascular risk, especially seniors, who are more vulnerable to heart issues as the years go by. If you're worried about belly fat, here's more good news. Animal studies, which often pave the way for human trials, found that Gymnema could help shrink visceral fat deposits and reduce markers of inflammation in the body. This means the leaf isn't just supporting numbers on a lab report, it's quietly working behind the scenes to make daily life better. Less swelling, less stiffness, more mobility. You might be asking, how can one simple leaf do so much? It's a fair question, and the answer lies in how natural compounds interact with our bodies. Gymnema contains gymnemic acids, plant-based molecules that gently influence how our cells handle sugar and fat. Rather than forcing dramatic changes, like some medications, the leaf encourages your body's natural systems to come back into balance, step by step. Even better, Gymnema has an excellent safety record. Generations have enjoyed it as tea or a supplement, with few reports of serious side effects. That said, it's always wise to check with your doctor, especially if you're taking diabetes medications or have other health concerns. Sometimes, the best healing comes from blending the wisdom of tradition with the safety of modern medicine. It's worth noting, too, that Gymnema isn't the only leaf with these powers. Bitter melon leaf has been celebrated in Asia for lowering blood sugar and boosting metabolism. Neem leaf, used in both Africa and India, is known for its anti-inflammatory and cholesterol balancing effects. All of these leaves share a common thread, a long history of use, paired with a growing body of research confirming what elders have known for generations. For those who love practical steps, here's how many people introduce Gymnema or its cousins into their lives. The most common way is as a gentle tea, simply steeping dried leaves in hot water, sipping slowly after meals. Others prefer capsules, which offer a measured dose and are easy to find in health food stores or online. Some cultures even cook with the leaves, adding them to soups or stews for a slightly bitter but healthful flavor. It doesn't have to be complicated. Think of it like adding a pinch of wisdom to your daily habits, the way our grandparents once did. The key is consistency, making it a quiet part of your routine, rather than a grand gesture you'll only keep up for a week. Perhaps you're thinking, but will this work for me? Every person's body is different, and no single solution fits all. Still, the growing chorus of research and generations of success stories suggest it's worth a try, especially when done thoughtfully and in partnership with your healthcare provider. I'll never forget a message I received from Carol, a 69-year-old grandmother from Texas. Carol wrote, "I was skeptical at first. I've tried every new trend, and I was tired of disappointment. But drinking Gymnema tea became a quiet ritual for me. Just 10 minutes of peace in my busy day. I noticed I wasn't craving sweets the way I used to. At my next doctor's appointment, my A1C had dropped, and my cholesterol was finally moving in the right direction. My doctor was surprised, and honestly, so was I." Stories like Carol's are becoming more common, echoing what science is now confirming. Sometimes, nature gives us gentle nudges toward better health. It isn't about quick fixes or miracle cures, but about steady, sustainable changes that respect the body and honor a lifetime of experience. As you consider adding a miracle leaf like Gymnema sylvestre to your daily life, remember that you're drawing on a tradition older than any of us, now endorsed by the bright minds of modern medicine. It's a bridge between old and new, a reminder that sometimes the simplest solutions are also the most profound. If you choose to give it a try, start slowly, perhaps a cup of tea in the afternoon or a single capsule with your morning routine. Listen to your body. Celebrate small victories, like a craving resisted, a blood sugar number improved, or an extra block walked with confidence. And as always, keep your healthcare team in the loop. The best results come when tradition and science work hand in hand. The journey to better health doesn't have to be lonely or overwhelming. With a little help from nature and a touch of curiosity, you can write a new chapter. One where you feel a bit stronger, a bit lighter, and a lot more hopeful. Remember, sometimes the biggest changes come from the smallest leaves. If you're feeling curious about adding Gymnema sylvestre or another miracle leaf to your routine, you're not alone. One of the most common questions I hear is, "Okay, but how do I use it? And how do I do it safely, especially at my age?" The good news is, you don't have to overhaul your life or learn a whole new set of habits. The best approach is simple, gentle, and easy to build into your daily rhythm. Let's start with the basics. How to use this leaf. Thanks to centuries of tradition and recent research, you have several safe, convenient options. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The simplest way is tea. This is how Gymnema sylvestre and similar leaves like bitter melon or neem have been enjoyed for generations. You can find dried Gymnema leaves or tea bags in many health food stores or online. Making the tea is as easy as boiling water for your favorite black or green tea. Simply place 1 or 2 teaspoons of the dried leaf, or a single tea bag, into a cup, add hot water, and let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. The flavor is slightly bitter, which some people enjoy as a gentle nudge away from sugary cravings. You can sip this tea once or twice a day, ideally after meals. If tea isn't your thing, capsules or tablets are another great option, especially if you want to be certain about the dosage or prefer something quick and tasteless. Many reputable brands now sell Gymnema sylvestre in capsule form, often combined with other supportive herbs. The usual recommended dose for adults is between 200 to 400 milligrams per day, but for seniors, starting at the lower end, around 200 milligrams per day, is both safe and effective. Always read the label, and whenever possible, choose brands that have been third-party tested for purity and quality. Some folks like to get creative and cook with the leaves. In parts of India and Southeast Asia, gymnema and bitter melon leaves are added to soups or stews, giving dishes a unique flavor and an extra health boost. If you're comfortable in the kitchen and feel adventurous, you might try adding a few leaves to your next homemade soup or stir-fry. Just remember, a little goes a long way. Start small and see how you like it. No matter which method you choose, consistency is the secret. The body responds best to gentle, regular habits rather than big, sporadic changes. Imagine the leaf as a quiet helper, working steadily in the background, nudging your blood sugar, cholesterol, and metabolism in a better direction over time. For most people, this means enjoying the tea daily, taking a capsule with breakfast, or sprinkling a few leaves into meals each week. Don't worry if you miss a day here or there. Just pick up where you left off. How soon should you expect results? Like most things worth doing, patience pays off. While some people notice a difference in cravings or energy within the first week or two, the most meaningful changes, lower blood sugar, improved cholesterol, and reduced belly fat, typically appear after several weeks to a month of steady use. Think of it like planting a seed. You water it daily, trust the process, and soon you'll see new growth. The key is not to get discouraged if you don't see dramatic changes right away. Small, steady steps add up over time. Now, let's talk about something even more important: staying safe. Natural doesn't always mean harmless, and everyone's body is different, especially as we age. Here are a few golden rules to keep in mind. First and foremost, Gymnema sylvestre, or any similar supplement, should never replace the medications your doctor has prescribed. If you're managing diabetes, high cholesterol, or any other condition, these leaves are best seen as a supportive tool, not a substitute. Always consult your healthcare provider before adding something new, especially if you take medications for blood sugar or cholesterol. Why? Because gymnema can enhance the effects of some medications, which might lower your blood sugar more than you expect. It's a good problem to have, but you and your doctor should stay ahead of it together. It's also important to keep up with regular health checks. This means seeing your doctor, getting your blood sugar and cholesterol measured, and having open conversations about any new symptoms or changes you notice. Your healthcare team is your ally. By keeping them in the loop, you're making the best possible choices for your health. Who should avoid using these leaves? While Gymnema sylvestre is safe for most adults, there are a few situations where caution is needed. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, it's best to avoid it. There just isn't enough research yet. If you have allergies to plants in the Apocynaceae family, a group of tropical plants, you might want to steer clear as well. People with certain digestive disorders, like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, should check with their doctor, as the bitter compounds could irritate sensitive stomachs. And of course, if you ever notice side effects, like stomach upset, headache, or lightheadedness, stop using the leaf and check in with your doctor. Let's not forget the bigger picture. The leaf works best as part of a balanced, healthy lifestyle. No single food, supplement, or herb can replace the basics: eating well, moving your body, getting enough sleep, and managing stress. Aim for a diet that's rich in whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats, and plenty of fruits and vegetables. Gentle movement, like daily walks, stretching, or even light gardening, can make a world of difference, especially for joints and mood. Think of the miracle leaf as a valuable teammate, powerful, but not meant to play the whole game alone. One more friendly tip: start small and steady. Consistency is key, and there's no need to rush. Sometimes we get excited about a new remedy and go all in, only to feel overwhelmed and quit. Instead, treat this as a quiet experiment, a gift to yourself. Maybe you start with 1 cup of tea a day, or a single capsule every morning. After a week or two, check in with yourself. How do you feel? Are you noticing any changes, big or small? If all is well, you can gently increase your use if you and your doctor feel comfortable. There's no race, just a steady, hopeful walk toward better health. Stories from real people can be so encouraging. I remember talking to Mr. James, a 75-year-old grandfather from Minnesota. He started with just 1 cup of Gymnema tea each evening after dinner. At first, he simply enjoyed the calming ritual. 10 quiet minutes, just for himself. After about 3 weeks, he noticed that he didn't crave dessert as much, and he had a little more pep in his step on his morning walks. Over time, his doctor noticed gradual improvements in his blood sugar, too. It wasn't a miracle overnight, James told me, but it felt good to be doing something positive for myself, something simple that fit into my life. That's the beauty of this approach. You're not turning your world upside down. You're adding something gentle, time-tested, and backed by science. You're doing it for yourself, in your way, at your own pace. And every little positive choice counts. Before we wrap up, let's quickly review the key points for safely and effectively using Gymnema sylvestre, or similar leaves. Choose your preferred form. Tea, capsule, or even culinary use, all are fine. Start with a small dose. For tea, 1 cup a day. For capsules, 200 milligrams daily for seniors is a sensible start. Be patient. Most benefits are noticed after several weeks of steady use. Work with your doctor. Always check before starting, especially if you take prescription medications. Keep up with your usual healthy habits. Eat well, stay active, and monitor your health regularly. Know when to avoid. Don't use during pregnancy, breastfeeding, or if you have allergies or sensitive digestive issues. Celebrate small wins. Each good choice you make is a step toward greater well-being. It's normal to have questions and even doubts. Trying something new always comes with uncertainty. But remember, there's no downside to learning, experimenting gently, and listening to your body. If the tea doesn't suit your taste, try the capsule. If you miss a day, simply begin again. Progress isn't measured in perfection, but in persistence. And as you move forward, remember this: you are not alone. Millions of seniors across the country are exploring new ways to support their health, blending the wisdom of tradition with the knowledge of modern science. Each day is a new opportunity to care for yourself, honor your journey, and enjoy the small pleasures of life. 1 cup of tea, 1 gentle walk, 1 hopeful step at a time. Aging brings its challenges, but it also brings freedom. The freedom to choose what works for you, to adapt, and to keep growing in wisdom and well-being. By starting small, staying consistent, and keeping a friendly, open mind, you're giving yourself the very best gift, a chance to thrive at any age. So, here's to your journey with a miracle leaf. May it bring you comfort, curiosity, and real results. Remember, consistency is key, and every effort you make is worth it. Take it slow, listen to your body, and always trust your common sense and the advice of those who care for you. Health isn't a sprint, it's the steady, gentle walk of a life well lived. Mary Johnson had always considered herself an ordinary American grandmother. She grew up in a small town in Indiana, married her high school sweetheart, and spent most of her adult life working as a school secretary while raising 3 children. In her 60s, Mary's days revolved around family dinners, church choir, baking cookies with her grandkids, and tending a little patch of marigolds in her backyard. She wasn't the sort to complain, and she'd always believed that, with enough faith and hard work, life would work itself out. But as the years passed and Mary celebrated her 70th birthday, she noticed subtle changes that began to chip away at her sense of well-being. Simple chores, like carrying groceries or kneeling in her garden, left her short of breath. She felt tired most afternoons and started skipping outings with friends, embarrassed by how easily she got winded. Worst of all, a visit to her doctor brought news she'd been dreading. Her blood sugar was high, and so was her cholesterol. "I just figured this was part of getting older," Mary recalls. "My mother had diabetes, my father had heart issues, and I thought it was my turn. Still, Mary was the type to do what she was told. She started on the pills her doctor prescribed and gave up her beloved sweet tea. But despite her best efforts, the numbers on her lab reports only crept higher. Her waistband tightened, she began to dread her daily walks, and there were nights she lay awake, worrying about her future and whether she'd be there to see her youngest granddaughter graduate. Then, one Sunday after church, Mary overheard two friends chatting about some kind of miracle tea. They spoke about a leaf, Gymnema sylvestre, that was supposed to help with blood sugar and cholesterol. At first, Mary was skeptical. She'd seen plenty of fads come and go, and she wasn't one for quick fixes. Still, something about their hopeful voices stuck with her. If it helped Betty, maybe it could help me, she thought. With a little encouragement from her daughter, Mary decided to give it a try. She found a reputable brand online, read up on the proper dosage, and ran the idea by her doctor, who gave her the green light as long as she continued monitoring her blood sugar. Mary started small, just a cup of Gymnema tea with her breakfast, nothing fancy, no huge promises. The first week was unremarkable. The tea was a bit bitter, but not unpleasant, and she felt good knowing she was doing something for herself. In the evenings, she began taking short walks around her block again, something she'd avoided for months. Just 5 minutes, she told herself, and if I'm tired, I'll stop. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. By the third week, Mary noticed something surprising. Her craving for sweets was fading. The cookies she used to nibble on absent-mindedly didn't seem as tempting. She had more energy in the afternoons, and on weekends, she felt less sluggish when her grandchildren visited. When she checked her blood sugar at home, the numbers weren't perfect, but they'd stopped climbing. Emboldened, Mary added a little more movement to her days. She started gardening again, stretching her arms to reach the marigolds. She experimented with new recipes, swapping white bread for whole grains, and made a game out of adding extra vegetables to every meal. It wasn't a diet, she laughs. It was just me trying to take care of myself in small ways. When Mary went in for her 3-month checkup, even her doctor was impressed. Her blood sugar had dropped into a healthier range, and her cholesterol was down, too. She'd lost a few pounds around her middle, but the bigger change was in her spirit. Mary felt lighter, brighter, and more hopeful than she had in years. For the first time in a long while, Mary looked forward to her days. She joined a local walking group, sharing laughter and stories with friends old and new. She baked cookies again, but this time, she enjoyed the process more than the sweets. Her afternoons in the garden became a source of peace and strength, a place to reflect on how far she'd come. One evening, her granddaughter asked, "Grandma, how come you can walk so much now?" Mary smiled and knelt to tie the little girl's shoe. "Sometimes, sweetheart, you just need to find the right help and never stop believing you can get stronger." Mary's story is not one of instant miracles or overnight cures. There were days when her knees ached, days when she wanted to quit, and days when her numbers weren't what she hoped for. But Mary kept going, one gentle step at a time, trusting in the power of nature, science, and her resilience. Her friends noticed, too. At church, Mary became known as the walking lady, often the first to greet newcomers with a warm smile and an invitation to join her stroll around the block. She talked openly about the tea that became a quiet ritual in her mornings and the little changes that made a big difference. Some friends started trying Gymnema sylvestre themselves. Others simply felt inspired to add a daily walk or swap a sugary snack for a handful of nuts. Mary never saw herself as extraordinary. She'd tell you she just did what she could, every day, and listened to her body's needs. But her journey became a beacon of hope for others who felt overwhelmed by their health challenges. In the warmth of her kitchen or under the shade of her garden's old maple tree, Mary reminded people that no matter your age, it's never too late to change, and that small choices, day after day, can build a bridge to better health. If Mary could do it, so can you. Maybe you've been struggling with your health, wondering if the best days are behind you, or if you'll ever feel strong and confident again. Maybe you've watched the numbers on the scale inch up or listened to your doctor gently suggest another prescription. Maybe you're tired of feeling tired. Let Mary's journey remind you, you are not powerless. There is always a next step, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes, it starts with something as simple as a cup of tea and a short walk. The miracle leaf, the small changes to your meals, the laughter you share with a friend, all of it matters. Mary's grandchildren now tell their friends, "My grandma is the strongest lady I know." And in many ways, she is. Not because she lifted weights or ran marathons, but because she refused to give up on herself, even when life got hard. Her story isn't about perfection, but persistence. It's about hope that grows, quietly and steadily, just like those marigolds in her backyard. So, as you listen to Mary's story and think about your journey, ask yourself, what small step can I take today? Maybe it's trying a new tea, calling a friend for a walk, or simply believing that tomorrow can be better. Whatever it is, know that you have a community cheering you on and that you're never alone in this. The miracle leaf is not magic, but it can be a faithful companion on your path to wellness, a symbol of the healing and hope that is always possible at any age. If Mary could do it, so can you. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to take a moment to reflect on what you've just learned. Maybe for years, you believed that declining health was simply a fact of getting older, a burden you just had to carry. But today, you've seen that even the smallest changes, like adding a natural leaf to your daily routine, can open the door to new possibilities. Science and tradition both remind us that the body is capable of remarkable things, no matter your age. Remember Mary's story, her gentle determination, her willingness to try something new, and the hope that slowly grew inside her. If she can find strength and renewal, so can you. It doesn't matter if you've struggled in the past or if you feel overwhelmed right now. What matters is that you take that first small step, trust in the journey, and give yourself the kindness and patience you truly deserve. Don't be afraid to reach out for support, to your family, your doctor, or this growing community of friends who want to see you thrive. Ask your questions, share your victories, and encourage others along the way. Your experience, your wisdom, and your courage have power. Every choice you make, no matter how small, can bring you closer to the healthy, joyful life you hope for. So, as you close this video, I invite you to look forward, not back. Your best days are not behind you. With a little faith, steady effort, and the gifts that nature and science provide, you have every reason to believe in a brighter, healthier tomorrow. If Mary could do it, so can you. And if you found this video helpful, please share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.